Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Panic Button. I'm Nina.
This is Panic Button. I'm Panic Button. She's Panic Button. You like Panic Button. This is Panic Button. Panic Button.
I approve. I approve of these messages. So I'm Jesse, that's Nina, and this is the Panic Button. You had to be here before to get that. So
Today we're reacting to a video of Lillytino saying that he wishes he could have an abortion.
Oh, great.
You good?
Oh, it's just so stupid.
Yeah, kind of is.
I know I already said it when we started, but maybe he misspoke. Maybe he meant he should have been an abortion.
It's possible. That's why we're reacting to it, to find out. Here we go.
I didn't say this. I did not say this. If for some reason I did get pregnant, and I don't want to get pregnant, but if I did, I would get an abortion. And I support anyone's right to get an abortion. This is the second time something like this has popped up on my feed, so I dug a little deeper. But first, can we appreciate what they did to my face? Like, look at that. Ugh, God. This same page does posts like this all the time. Lisa from Blackpool says pregnancy as a trans woman is difficult. Well, first off, we all know that trans women can't get pregnant, right? What this page is saying is that Lisa is a crazy person, right? And suggesting
Well,
That was surprising.
Sorry, I know, don't pause it. But we don't all know that trans women can't get pregnant because you guys are saying trans women are women, which would say trans women have the capability to get pregnant that women have.
They have ovaries, apparently.
So when you're telling this to young people, I've heard enough of them say it. I've heard people like you talk about the possibility of it happening. You are putting the belief into them that they can and potentially will get pregnant, on top of the ones who are complaining about periods and how they're having period cramps. And as someone who's actively getting her period right now, shut up. It hurts. You have cramps, you have pain. Sometimes you don't, sometimes you do. It happens irregularly or it happens regularly. You don't understand, and you're pretending that you do. It's taking a lot to not be angry every time you hear something like this. To be like, oh, no one ever said that. You did. We've heard it. We've seen it. Stop it.
That's like saying I have an erection right now. It's an internal erection. It doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
Let's just continue on.
that trans women like her are crazy. It shouldn't come as a surprise that Lisa from Blackpool is 100% AI. My voice is feminine now. Why does Siri still call me sir? Trans woman files complaint to Apple. Think about this for 2 seconds. When has Siri ever called anyone sir? Unless you say, Siri, call me sir. Siri doesn't do that. Siri's like, yeah, here's your result. It just doesn't exist. It doesn't happen. Or here's another one. I feel an ovulation. Trans woman claims she can sense her monthly cycle. No, we're not producing eggs. Many of us wish we could, but we can't. I get that I make provocative content. That's on purpose. My goal is to start a conversation around a real issue. All of these posts are fake news.
This was very, very strange.
Just because you're not claiming that you have these menstruation pains doesn't mean that other people aren't. You claim to possibly get pregnant in the future. You did. You did that a few weeks ago.
You think he's flip-flopping?
It's all like a sick game for attention. Thank you for acknowledging biological truth for probably the first time ever.
Probably the last time, too.
But it doesn't change the fact that you do believe these things and you stood by people who believed them. And if anything, you're the reason more people believe that because you endorsed it. Now you're like, oh, I didn't say that. It's fake. We all know. Yeah, we do all know. That's why people voted for Trump. We all know.
He said there was an article that said a trans woman stated he could feel when he's ovulating or about to get his period?
Something like that, yeah.
How does that work exactly?
Well, it doesn't.
You feel rumbling in the Bronx?
Biological women don't even know when they're ovulating unless they're either tracking it or have a very, intense knowledge of their cycle. Very, a lot of people will track it for if they're trying to have a baby.
Yeah, but Amanda, what is he tracking?
My point is that biological women don't feel it.
We don't feel the ovulation taking place.
We have to do math to figure out when it's happening.
But we can feel when our body's starting to get funky on us.
Well, we can definitely feel. So what happens, and I've looked it up because I've been in enough pain to be like, what's happening? And I know diabetes can when you have high blood sugar, it can cause lactic acid deposits, which you also get lactic acid deposits from working out.
Yeah.
And things like that. And so when you start your hormone cycle to start your menstruation, your body literally sends out more lactic acid to cause muscle spasms in your uterus to shed your uterine wall.
It's such a pain.
But that's why it feels like that. It hurts like you just ran a mile in your legs because that's what lactic acid does. And so when we say that we're having period pains, we're experiencing extreme buildup of lactic acid in areas around our uterus because your body makes too much and then it sends out extras.
Yeah.
And it happens. Go ahead, look it up. I just did this recently. I know it's what happens. And men trying to say that they can do that and experience that is kind of crazy. Men have been saying these things. So to Lillytino's point of that nobody's saying this, you're wrong because there are people saying this. Just because you decided to take a step back doesn't mean all of a sudden everything you said wasn't true. Like everything you said was not happening is now happening, right? It's all backwards. Everything changed.
It's very weird because it seems like he's switching. He's not switching sides, but it's
He's
kinda
changing
like
his story.
He's changing his tune slightly.
It's kind of like the cops. You get arrested for like stealing from a store, right? You're like, I didn't steal from that store. And then the cop pulls a product out of your purse or whatever, your bag, and is like, you're telling me you didn't steal this from that store just now. And they're like, well, you see, I went in there yesterday and I bought it. You're changing your story. You see, it's actively changing with whatever you need to hear in the moment. He's saying what people want to hear.
Yeah, but usually he says stuff that people don't want to hear that makes them mad.
I do want to say, at the beginning, he was talking about how this site posted him, but never showed the post.
Yeah, that's strange.
He showed all these other posts that he's like, oh, this is all made up, but never showed the claims that were made against him. I would be very curious to what the claims are against him.
Well, I've heard of trans content creators saying that they can get pregnant or that they have their period or that eventually they're going to be able to have a uterus transplant.
He said that.
Yeah, it's pretty bananas. Like if you don't have the
They're actively trying
stuff, how are you gonna make a baby?
actively trying to breastfeed these babies with male anatomy.
I just think that should be that's a crime.
So, but you're telling me that now, no, they don't want to get pregnant though. They want to do everything after the pregnancy. They just don't want to get pregnant. Of course they do.
Use the baby.
If you actually wanted to be number one, sorry to get all mad about this, but if you actually wanted to be a woman as a man, wouldn't you also want to be able to get pregnant?
Unless they just want the baby, and I think we all know what they want the baby
But
for.
hypothetically, right? If you wanted to be the other gender because of whatever reason, but if you really did want to be it, you'd want that ability too, right?
I would assume
It
so.
comes with it.
Yeah.
It's in the package,
Yeah.
right? So, of course, this is going to be something trans identifying males want, right? They
Yeah.
want their male anatomy to be comparable to female anatomy.
Some of them.
Well, that's the goal, right?
With some of them, yeah.
So, of course, I believe that they're going to want to have a uterus. Now, he just said he'd have an abortion if he got pregnant. So what's the point of transitioning to the point where we're trying to put uteruses into people that don't have uteruses if they're going to get abortions anyways?
You know, it sounds like you're going through a lot of stuff just to be a woman, and you're actively convincing yourself of things that aren't true in order to fulfill some sort of
Why are we going to transplant?
dream that's not, it's just not going to
Why
happen.
are we going to transplant a uterus for you to just get an abortion?
I don't know. He's not the first person I've heard say that. That was a man thinking he's a woman. There was quite a few men who think they're women who have said they want to get pregnant just so they can have an abortion. I think he was one of them at one point, which is very strange because it's not fun to get pregnant from what I've heard. And
Well, I mean, I'm
it's
sure-
also not fun and painful to have an abortion.
The act of getting pregnant must be fun, or there wouldn't be so many whoopsie babies. Just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, sex is inherently...
But it's the puking and all that fun stuff afterwards.
The mother's experience of developing the baby, the fetus, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
That is not fun, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
However, the fornication is fun. That's why they keep having mistakes. Yeah. But from the female's perspective, pregnancy is not fun.
Yeah.
From the male's perspective, you really just did your job the first night and walked away.
Yeah.
You can
they
choose to
and
stay.
They do, usually.
You can choose to stay and be more supportive than that. But hypothetically, that's where your job ends. I think that also saying that you're going to get an abortion if you get a uterus just shows why we shouldn't be even beginning to research those types of things. Maybe just don't, and help people who don't have the ability to get pregnant that have uteruses, help them have babies before you even consider putting a working uterus and a biological male?
I wonder if Christians would be against abortion or or would they be for abortion if men who think they're women could get pregnant? Do you think they'd be a little bit more lax on abortion, or do you think they'd be like, yes, have the baby, sir?
I think I came up with this kind of conundrum when I was younger, and I haven't thought about it since, but I think it was something like this. If you knew someone was pregnant with the Antichrist, and you could stop the Antichrist from coming because there's abortions,
Yeah.
would you do it?
Yes.
I think I used Hitler first as my example when I was talking to someone in my family. And the response was, well, maybe like Hitler was necessary. But like, I think if I had the chance and I knew something devastating was coming and that an
Yeah.
abortion was the way to prevent it from happening in my or my children's lifetime, I would say get the abortion. I wouldn't force it. If the person didn't want the abortion, I would not force it. But if it was like give my opinion, or like if it's my body, I'm getting the abortion. I'm sorry, is that crazy?
No.
I think it's the most logical assumption you can make. If you know something very negative is going to happen because you had this baby, like world destruction is what I was thinking. Like just like end of the world, right? Mecca Hitler. You can abort it.
An extreme hypothetical.
Yes, you can abort it. You've been gifted with this knowledge beforehand. Wouldn't you stop it?
Yeah, you already asked me that.
But like, wouldn't you? And
Yes, I just answered
a lot
that.
of these people say no. They wouldn't. Why would you say no?
Because it's
you
against
believe
their beliefs.
that it's not okay to do, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's not okay to have Mecha Hitler.
Mecca Hitler?
It's like giant robotic King Kong Godzilla version.
Would that be Mega Hitler?
Mecha.
Okay. Oh, well. Well, it's good that he supports abortions because
He should have been one. Sorry. I'm sorry. I've been compared to abortions twice in my life. I think I'm allowed to. Someone asked me before twice if I was an abortion. It's just crazy.
I am for abortion, but also against it. So, yeah. It all depends on the circumstances. I think there are valid reasons for it, but also invalid reasons for it. So there's that. What? Oh, is that Mecha Hitler?
Not mega, Mecha.
So this just proves that there is
Sorry.
more crazy people out there than just Lillytino. Like more crazy than Lillytino out there. We've seen them. We've reacted to some of their videos.
I think it just shows why a lot of this trans ideology is crazy, because as someone who has heard horror stories about women trying to get pregnant or wanting to have babies or miscarriages here, there, or the other place, if you're over here saying that if you got the thing you wanted the most, that you'd misuse it, maybe like
You
you don't want it.
You don't want to be a woman.
Maybe you don't want it.
Maybe you're pretending.
You know how many abortions I've had? None. You know why? Because I use my vagina responsibly.
Yeah.
And
Ditto.
you know how many people in my life I know that have had abortions? Very few. And when they do, they keep it private, and they don't go out there and they don't broadcast it to the world like this. They share it with people in very intimate, vulnerable moments. And so maybe shut up and stop being so disgraceful with this identity you're claiming to want. Because there are a few people who really do want those things out of life, and you're just ruining it for the ones who are, like, sad and actually have issues. I'm not saying that they should also have uterus transplants. Just you're making these people look pathetically ignorant.
So I have heard women who have had babies who say that the epitome of womanhood is giving birth and having a child. So if he's saying that he would get an abortion if he got pregnant, which is a complete hypothetical, it just kind of proves that whatever he's doing with this whole woman face thing is just a shtick. It's just a grift. It's not actually real, because men who want to be women for the gender dysphoria reason, because they think they were born in the wrong body, they wouldn't say, oh, I would have an abortion. They would be like, that would be the epitome of womanhood. Of course I would have the child. So it kind of just shows you the difference between the two. People like him and then other actual men who think they're women who have gender dysphoria. There's just a big divide and a big difference between those two.
This is also the same person you can tell if you were at a museum and it said, please don't touch the glass. It would be like, oh, watch, we're going to touch the glass. You just want attention for anything. If you get told no, you want to do it. You're told, oh, you can't go there, that's just for women. Guess what? He's going to try and get in there no matter what.
Yeah. But don't get too close to the chimpanzee cage because they like to reach through the bars and grab you. Did you see that one video of the chimpanzee who grabbed the dude who was walking by and he like had him like up against the cage and he was trying to rip his leg off? It was crazy. You don't want to get that close.
No thanks.
You never know who's in that cage.
It's true. Lillytino could be in that cage.
Or maybe he's the one with his face up against the glass and there's like a tiger who's about to...
Maul.
Yeah. Anyway, like and subscribe, everyone. If you have any comments.
I think I got an eyelash in my eye. I gotta go.
Sorry. If you have any comments or any things you want to add, anything we missed in the video, let us know in the comments below. Join our memberships to keep this channel going, and we will see you in the next one. Have a good one. Bye. Did you get it?